Folks, I've been down this whole fence line right here, and I've been finding deer hair just about on every trail. There's no question about the deer are coming from this field. Now right here, the fence is down. Now when deer aren't pushed or not afraid or anything like that, they're gonna take the easiest route, and there's a huge trail going right here back toward our bedding area. And as you can see right here in our background, our bedding area is gonna have cottonwoods, ash trees, and willow thickets. That's where the deer are going back. Now we're gonna take this from here. Here again, I've been all the way up and down this fence. I've got about 4 or 5 major trails here that go off this bluff, and I want to try to find out where they go under the fence down there back to the bedding area. So let's go this way, and let's see if we can't condense this puzzle into an idea of where to place a tree stand. Alright, we've got another huge trail coming off this bluff right here. I was looking at a scrape right there, and also where they were tearing up the trees right here. This trail right here goes straight here to this part of the fence, and they're going under here. Folks, what we've got is a situation here where we've almost got too much sign. It's going to be a guessing game where we're going to place our tree stand at the present time. So what we're going to do in this situation is we're going to sit up on the field this afternoon and glass with our binoculars and try to see where the deer are coming out. And then in the morning, what we're going to do is sit and watch the deer coming back to the bedding area and try to figure out where they're concentrating and which trails. Then we're going to place our tree stand and see if that works for us. Now what we need to do here is, I know one thing, I always take my compass when we're in the area looking at bedding areas, things like that, just setting it up. And this way we're going to know which way to hunt, especially with the wind. North is this way, south is this way. Now, this place right here is not going to be any good in the afternoon with like a southeast wind. Okay, be great in the morning. We need like a north or northwest wind, to hunt. So always get a compass, figure out which way you can hunt using the wind. But what we're going to do is we're going to sit on the field before we place our tree stand. We're going to see if that works.
Later in the afternoon, Jackie watches the wheat fields to see which trails the deer would use when entering to feed. An encouraging afternoon as many bucks appear in the field. The next morning, the field is alive with deer activity. A very encouraging morning for Jackie because he's planning to hunt this area this afternoon. After scouting the deer movement both morning and evening, Jackie now has a good idea of the trail the deer are using.
As you can see, folks, there was a lot of bucks and a lot of deer. But what that taught us right there was basically where the deer were funneling down and taking the 2 major trails coming back to the bedding area. That's what we were learning. Now, The other thing is we had to flip a coin here. There was just as many bucks that went down this trail right down below us as there was this trail here. Now, one of the most important things after you find the sign is finding the tree. And if you've ever hunted out here at Montana, you ever heard what a cottonwood tree is, there's no such thing as a straight cottonwood. And that was a very big problem for us this week. And as you can see right here, we have found the straightest of straightest cottonwoods right here. As you can see in the background, they seem to twist and turn, and that's the hardest thing about it. But we found one tree, we placed our stand up. Now we've also taken the wind in consideration here. It's very, very important. The wind is supposed to be out of the west, then turn to the southeast. In the afternoon, if the wind's out of the west right here, it's going to be blowing across my stand here, where I'll get the shot right here on the trail. In the mornings, if it's blowing out of the southeast, which will be blowing back this way, the deer coming down in the mornings, I'll get the shot right here. Don't ever fool around with the wind. We've been doing this long enough. We've got enough hours logged. You can't beat a whitetail with his nose as far as the wind, so don't try to fight it. So there's our stand placement. Here again, we flipped a coin, and being my luck, most of the bucks are probably going to go down that trail. Well, now it's time to go hunt.
As he does before every hunt, Jackie sprays himself with an odor eliminator and then applies a cover scent to his boots. Finally, Jackie sets up for his first afternoon hunt. Shortly after getting up in his stand, Jackie spots two small bucks moving toward him. A change in the wind could ruin the hunt for the Buckmaster. The wind, which was favorable when he entered his stand, is now blowing in the opposite direction. Rather than risk spoiling the setup for the next morning, Jackie elects to abandon the hunt this afternoon. The morning brings thick fog, but the wind is perfect, and the deer are moving from the field back to the bedding area. Another nice buck appears on the ridge above Jackie. The buck is distracted by movement inside the edge of the woods below him. Finally, a good buck and the perfect shot opportunity.
Yes, sir. All right. Get this old buck here. I tell you what. All right, 9-pointer. I tell you what, folks. We've had a chance to do a lot of deer hunting over the years, but this is one morning I'll never forget. I really thought we'd guessed wrong, and the majority of the deer ended up going down the other trail, which we almost had to flip a coin on. Do we want to hunt this trail or hunt this trail? And trying to find the tree stand and everything, but he was the last one to come down. But we had deer scraping, making rubs on trees. We had deer fighting. We had it all in one morning, and I tell you what, it was a lot of fun. And this is the end result of doing our scouting, finding out where our food source was, finding out where our bedding area was, and most of all, getting the wind right. Yesterday afternoon, we came in, the wind changed on us and started blowing back in the bedding area for an afternoon hunt. 2 bucks came out, they winded us, and we decided to come down and not forfeit this morning. So we knew if we messed the deer up last night, they might not come to the field. So we got down, and that's what happened. Most of the deer came right back through this morning. So this is the end result of a great hunt. It's been a lot of fun. Whew, I'm still shaking. Let me get my tag on, and I'm gonna go back and get the 4-wheeler. Get this old rascal loaded up.